Hiya, I'm Jasper, and welcome to your video review for Get the Gringo. It's a movie starring Mel Gibson. So I originally saw some picture of a description of a Mel Gibson movie, and I was like, that looks interesting. And then I forgot the name of it, so when I was looking through Mel Gibson movies, I was like, oh, that kind of looks like the picture. So I started this movie, and I kept on watching. I was like, this doesn't sound like this doesn't seem like it's going to get to the thing. So I finally looked up, and I'm like, oh, yeah, not the movie I thought it was, but in reading that trivia, it said that there was a few entries that was like, hey, a lot of people consider this an unofficial or a spiritual sequel to the movie Payback that also stars Mel Gibson. Uh, I will tell you that I went and watched Payback after this movie. I did not care for the movie Payback. Just saying. Anyhow, so with this movie, Mel Gibson, it starts with, an action sequence where he's running from the cops, and then he busts his way into Mexico, and so he gets thrown in Mexican prison, and basically he's a smooth operator. He's a con man. He's a grifter. He knows how to operate. It's narrated a bit, it's not overly narrationful, but there's a bit of narration in there for what he's doing and when he has to do it and what his thought process is. And I thoroughly enjoyed it. It takes place mostly within this prison that, from the trivia, sounds like it's based on a real life prison where prisoners were, in prison, but their families could come and go, and so that they could have a family environment type thing. Anyhow, basically from the perspective of this movie, it's a super corrupt system where, the families can come and go and the prisoners have to stay, but if you're really, if you're high up on the prison food chain, or prisoner food chain, then you can also come and go, but you just have to be back by the end of the night type of thing. I don't know, you get enough of the feel for it so you can see that it's a corrupt system, but there's also, it is still a prison, and some things operate that way, and more things get revealed as time goes on. But what I will say is that, while Mel Gibson's character is an asshole, he's an asshole to assholes. He's not an asshole to, the kid that he meets and the, innocent woman that he meets type of thing. So he's an asshole because he's been surrounded by assholes, and so he has to be an asshole in an asshole environment. Can I say asshole again? Sure. Asshole. But that being said, he is not a bad guy in the bad guy realm, so to speak. You know what I mean? You could rob a bank, but you can still be a good person, at least in the movies. So that's kind of in the realm that he sits at. And I like those, I don't want to call it anti-hero, but sure, I like that realm that he sits in. I like Mel Gibson. I like most of his movies, not all of them, as you can see. Payback, not great, but I like most of his movies, and this one, I didn't think that I would care about some dude who got arrested for stealing a bunch of money and then is thrown in Mexican prison and is trying to figure out his way out of it. But, because I read that description when I was trying to find the description of the movie that I was actually trying to watch, and I was like, that sounds boring as fuck. I don't want to see that. That's, no thank you. But I was already so far into it that I was like, you know what? I mean, I kind of want to see how this goes. And so I kept watching, and I wanted to see where things went for the whole movie. And I was like, you know what? From the description, may not have been my type of movie, but from the execution, it kept me engaged. It kept me wanting to see the next thing. I liked the characters that I was supposed to like and disliked the other ones, and people made logical decisions within the universe that they were in, and, comeuppance was had to the people or person who should have the comeuppance. It's great. So I thoroughly enjoyed this movie. I think it's a fun time, and yeah, I think that if you like Mel Gibson movies, you will be entertained by this film quite a bit. So that's all I have for this one. Thanks for watching. Bye.